Okay, now I'm strictly on the cellular network. AT&T LTE full boat ought to be good to go. Note to self, if you notice whether or not you're on Wi-Fi. I'm used to moving around. If this happens to be the first video you've ever seen of mine, I was driving a truck long haul, so I have to be all times, at least as much as possible, on the internet. And so I'm used to that. And I'm not used to being on Wi-Fi and having it crap out on me. Anywho, here we go. The topic of discussion, a Facebook post that I was doing yesterday, and I was mentioning that I'm not on social media. I'm not really a big fan. I would not have anything to do with social media if it weren't for me being in business. And, well, a lot of people are on there, so you want to get your stuff out. And I'm following a new plan, trying some new stuff. And this is what led me to using the Instagram app instead of the Clips app, which is a Apple app that I've been using, because when I tried to upload the clips to Instagram, it didn't like the aspect ratio. It said, oh, it's got to be in vertical. Well, they were all shot in vertical. Apparently, the Clips app makes them square, which oddly enough wasn't that what Instagram was all about? Anyway, I was posting on Facebook, and my point I was trying to make is, if you're giving all of your great information away for free in the hopes that people will think you're such a wonderful person and their sense of reciprocity or whatever will get them to buy from you, you're acting like an amateur, and it's a fool's game, and you will lose. That is a fact, whether you like it or not. And I know there's people out there that say, well, I give this stuff away all the time, and it's valuable, and this and that. I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is you're probably doing more of what I'm talking about, and you're not looking at it the same way. Because if you're giving someone all of your good stuff in your content, why do they have to buy from you? It's like going to Costco and you get a sample and say, here's a sample of this bacon cheddar whatever, and you eat it and you're like, dang, that's good. So what do? You go buy a package of it. That's why they gave you the sample. That is the idea I'm talking about. You show them something interesting, it's entertaining, it removes them from their life for a few minutes where they can get lost in this wonderful story or whatever it is you've brought them into that relates to your product or service, and it reaches them on an emotional level and makes them feel better. That's the key. And when you're doing this and you're doing it correctly, people will want more of what you've got, and that's why they buy your product. There's an art to it, and it's what's beyond the words that you use. It comes from behind it. At least I've identified 2 steps and it's why you can't copy someone else's copy. It's why it only works at a specific time, in a specific place, for a specific audience, a specific product or service. I don't know, maybe the moon's even got to be right. Especially when it gets nailed, when you just nail it. Everything comes out perfectly. The odds of that type of thing working for someone else in their market is essentially zero, because it's too connected to all these different variables going on. That's why you can't just copy what someone else is doing and make it work. Well, as often happens, some people seem to take a little bit of offense. And I'll tell you why. It's because I said you're acting like an amateur. I did not mean that as a personal attack on anyone. I'm just pointing out, and I put the definition of amateur on there. It's engaging in an activity, particularly a sport, where you are unpaid. And I pointed out, well, if you're giving your stuff away free, you are unpaid. That equals amateur. That's what you're doing. And of course, there's a different ways that some people look at it a different way. But they're doing, I believe, a lot of what I said. And my final question was this: if you've made all these sales, you're obviously doing things right, okay, but what if you could do a little bit less hard value, a little bit less hard teaching, and more being interesting and entertaining, and make twice as many sales next year as you did last year? Would you do it? And the answer, of course, is yes. Because if you've got a product or service that improves people's lives, that they're willing to pay for, every dollar you make is more validation and proof that you have helped someone improve their life. And that's what we're all in business for. You get paid to make people's lives better. It's freaking awesome. So, of course, you would do that. And this is all I'm saying. If you are giving away all of your good stuff, and you think by giving away your best stuff that people are going to say, oh, that's such a wonderful guy, kick in the reciprocity and get them to buy from you because they think you're so awesome, you are playing a fool's game. You will lose, and you won't make any money. Keep this in mind. Professionals get paid. Amateurs don't. It's kind of the definition. I get this on the Big Bang Theory one time. Oh, I forget the Penny, the girl is talking to Leonard, and she says on her resume, she's a professional actress. And he says, well, does anybody pay you for acting? And she says, well, no. But that doesn't have anything to do with it. And he goes, well, yeah, it kind of does, because that's the definition. When you get paid for something, that's when you're a professional. Otherwise, you're just, practicing. It's a hobby. So keep that in mind and take it to heart and learn how to use what you're writing, your videos, whatever it is you're doing, to show someone what you've got. Be interesting and entertaining enough to keep them coming back. As they listen to you, they will gain your philosophy. They will come to understand you know what you're talking about. And done correctly, you will show them how what you've got will help them improve their life, and that's when they'll buy. Matter of fact, sometimes they just won't buy from anybody else because you've come to them and showed them and brought them into your world, and then just like your friends, and now you're golden. Just think of your best friend. If that person said, hey man, you got to try this, what would you do? You'd try it. Even if you were totally against it, you'd be like, well, this person wouldn't steer me wrong. And that's what you're going for. And of course, that's how you want to be towards people, because that's, hell, we're making the world a better place and get rich at the same time. What could be better than that? Keep that stuff in mind. That's all I got for today. And here's to hoping that this Instagram thingy is still working. It still says live. I think I'm on. All right? So keep that in mind as you go along. You can be an amateur, do things for free, or become a professional and get paid. That's all I got for today. I will talk to you tomorrow. I'm out.